I'll show you the base level exercises, then I'll go through the alternatives with the book bag, then I'll go through the alternatives with the milk jug. So without further ado, I'm going to jump right into. So the first exercise on there is bicep curls. So I've got my dumbbells, I'm coming out front here so you can see, and all I'm going to do is basically do a standing bicep curl. Okay, so my arms don't come down fully extended, there's a slight bend in the elbow, and I do this 10 times. Okay, so I do it 10 on my left, 10 on my right. Pretty straightforward. If that's hard to do, you could do a hammer curl, but this motion here, folks, will not get your biceps developed the way we're originally planning with this program. Second exercise, shoulder press. So I go up to shoulder press here, come back down to my shoulders, and up. Alternative, you could come to 90 degrees and push back up, but if you have the range of motion and the weight is light enough, you can bring it back down to your shoulders. I prefer that you use a straddle stance. It's a little easier on your back and safer, and it works really well. Third exercise, we're going to go through shoulder shrugs. So pretty straightforward, feet about hip width, pulling straight up, okay, pulling them up, 10 reps. Fourth exercise on there is deadlift. So my feet are about hip width apart, okay, I'm going to squat down to about 90 degrees, pull straight up. So control the way down, control the way up. How I usually teach this, down 2, 3, pause, up 2, 3. So from this angle, down 2, 3, up 2, 3. And one more time. Makes sense? Okay, so stiff leg deadlift. We're going to lean over. Now I call this a stiff leg deadlift, and I'm well aware that there's a slight bend in my leg. It's more of a Romanian. But for all intents and purposes, folks, my back is straight. My legs aren't really moving. I'm just pulling up through my glutes. So hence, stiff leg deadlift. We can discuss that over coffee sometime. The nomenclature. Okay, makes sense? So the next one on there, I believe, is a one-arm row or a row. So I'm using my stove for an example here. Leaning over, my back is straight, weight hangs, pulling up. Okay? Same motion, so up 2, 3, pause, down 2, 3. Now if I had a weight, I could lean over like this and pull up. That would work just as well. Now the other one that's on there, number 7, lateral raise. So I have a dumbbell here. I can do a lateral raise. So when I do this motion, folks, elbow comes up to about parallel to shoulder. Okay? And straight back down. It's easier with 2 weights, not gonna lie, but I could grab a hold of something and pull up. You're gonna be able to control this, and you're not throwing the weight through. For a lot of us, using tomato soup, or in this case, like Hunt's tomato paste, coming back up works just as well. We want to look at injury prevention. That first 30-degree motion with that lateral raise works one of your rotator cuff muscles called your supraspinatus. We want that muscle to activate, and we don't want to accelerate through. Because with that delt, the big muscle on top gets fatigued, and we don't have a very strong supraspinatus. When that kicks in, it could tear. So these exercises are great, as I said, for prehab. So throw them in. The last one on there is a plank. I'm only going to demo this very brief. We all know what a plank is. You hold this position, I don't know, count out for 30 seconds, 15 seconds, 10, whatever works for you. Point is, I finished that exercise, that round, now I would take a break for 2 minutes. Pretty straightforward, eh? You do 3 sets of that. If you could, maybe do 4. If you're really fit, maybe you'll do 5. You're going to do that Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Okay, you can do that for 4 weeks. If you can do it for 4 weeks, then maybe try it for 8. Now, alternatives for this, we've really pushed the book bags in the last little while, a lot of different bases, and because we all have them, and it's easy to add weight in. Now, I'm going to fast track through this, but for a book bag for hammer curls, I got alternatives. I could basically grab my bag and do a hammer curl like this. It is possible to grab the strap up top and do a conventional curl with weight in there. Just going to make sure your book bag can handle it. Make sense? Shoulder press, you just grab a hold, do a straddle stance with your legs, straight up and back. So it's going to be more a little bit more anterior delt, like up through here. You're not pushing straight above your head like we were before, but it does roughly the same thing. The book bag high row, so it's like this, is an alternative to doing a shrug. That doesn't mean if you had 2 book bags, you couldn't do a shrug. I wouldn't suggest doing one arm shrugs. It's complicated and you just don't want to teach yourself to shift your weight, so I would leave that motion out. Either do a high row or two weights in both hands. So front squat, okay, so hug your book bag, legs are both hip width apart here, and you squat down, come back up. So again, so down, 2, 3, pause, up, 2, 3. You shift this way, down, 2, 3, up, 2, 3. Trying to keep your back straight and your knees not going past your toes. Okay? Stiff leg deadlift, a little bit different. Again, my nomenclature, I'm just going to call it a stiff leg even though it's probably more Romanian. I'm leaning over, I'm pulling up through my glutes, activating. I also get my erectors, my multifidus and my back to fire. Lovely exercise, folks. You may feel a little bit in your hamstrings too. Alternatively, I can hold it this way rather than holding lengthwise. So one arm row could be just like this, okay? If you had a lot of weight, you could reset, shift over, stick your bum out, and row that weight high. So it works. You could do a lateral raise with your book bag, but I would suggest most of us are probably still at this level. Go back, come back to 90 degrees and square, and pull that weight up. Make sense? Awesome. So, the other alternative on there is milk jugs. Don't have any dumbbells, don't really like the book bag, but I want some weight to lift. So let's use these. Everyone has milk jugs. If not, you can go buy these. I think this is $10 in total. The benefit is you get to drink it too. You can fill it with water, put some sand in it. Or, you're really against milk. We all wash clothes, or at least I hope. So here's an alternative. You can use a couple pure oxes. Fill it up with sand or water or whatever. Anyways, so very similar to the book bag or the dumbbells. Feet hip width apart for bicep curls. I can do my arms curled out to get that load. Okay? I can do a hammer curl like this. Okay? If it's light, I can double them up. And you know what? I'm getting a pump on for this, so you can't say that these aren't heavy enough. Okay, so the next one on there is a shoulder press. So I'm going to go back to the straddle stance to protect my back. So straddle, weights come up, push straight up, then back down. Okay, so I'm only going about 90 degrees now anyways, because the water in here, or the milk, is basically throwing the stability off. But you can see how it works. We also have the option to do shrugs, okay? Or we could do a high row, okay? Deadlifts is just like the dumbbells. The weights hang to the side, and we pull up. Okay, so a lot of quad here, folks. It does get your glutes to activate. Awesome exercise. Highly recommend it. Okay, so again, our stiff leg or our Romanian deadlifts, pull them up. Weights are on the side, pull up the glutes. One arm row, well, this might be a little light for one. Well, why not use 2? Maybe use 3. Either or, it'll work. Okay, last one that's on there, lateral raise. Okay, looks like this, or like this. But again, this might be a bit heavy, so just go back to the tomato paste cans, or maybe the Campbell soup cans, or the no-name cans. Either or, gives you an alternative. So that's 3 different variations of the same program, folks. Again, you do it 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. You run through 10 reps a piece, go right through the whole routine, take a 2-minute break, repeat. I guarantee you, it'll get you stronger, it'll build more muscular endurance, and most of us, it will get some hypertrophy. It will get you a little bit more toned. In some cases, that might mean you put some muscle mass on, which is great. These exercises are compound or parts and movements that you would do during your force test, so it'll actually help benefit that. So if you're looking for a rationale to do it, there's one right there. I want to give you one more exercise to add into this mix. And if I can move this thing down here, you know what? Oops. I'm going to zoom out. Maybe you'll see it that way. Well, if you can't see it, it's push-ups. And what we're going to do with that, folks, is from now on, you're going to do push-ups Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or you're going to do it Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. And what you're going to do is you're going to take 5 minutes out of your day. 5 minutes. And you're only going to end up doing, not even 5 minutes of work, really. It takes 5 minutes to do, but 10 seconds on, 20 seconds off. So, what that looks like. I'm going to military style push-up position, so I'm laying down, thumbs under the shoulders. I'm going to push up as many times as I can in 10 seconds. Okay? I'm going to take a break for 20 seconds. And then I'm going to repeat 9 more times. That's 10 sets. Do as many push-ups as you can. What's awesome about this, if you looked at our FIT principle we talked about a few sessions ago, frequency, intensity, time, and type, we regulate your intensity. Everything else stays the same, so no matter how fit you are or how much better shape you become, this will always be something that's challenging to do. What's awesome about it is it will develop your chest, anterior delts, triceps. So those of you that want to keep a physique or want to get ready back to benching when we start to get back to the gym, or just have general upper body strength, what a beautiful exercise to do. Swear by this one. Those of you in athletics where you need some power in your arms, there's some good research stating that it's upwards of about 30% increase in power development. So, really cool. Highly recommend it, folks. So that gives you an anaerobic workout with the weights and the program we talked about. We have a great physique developing one for the push-ups. And I'm going to, again, throw in our cardio program that Learn to Run or Return to Run. Those that haven't started a cardio program, we need to get on that because it's probably one of the biggest determinants for us to pass our force test, as well as help prevent other health issues. Now, really easy to run. I'll post it at the bottom here. But start off, folks, if you don't do any activity now, just do the first week. See how it goes. Those of you that already have a base, start off with week 2. See what that's like. You get to regulate the intensity as I just described with the push-ups. So what is a run? Well, you can run and get yourself fatigued, get in that zone you want, and the volume's not that high, and your joints should sustain it. If you have issues with it, please let myself know or one of the other fitness instructors that are on base, and we will help you. But in a nutshell, folks, that's COVID conditioning. I hope you learned something today. Take it back home, take it out with your family, get your adolescent children or your kids to try it out. It works for everyone. Thank you again. Josh here. Keep fit, fit to fight. Cheers.